Morning. So we can take off, eh? Stay. Okay. Good morning, the Fourth Estate. We wish to welcome you to police headquarters for our usual Monday presser. We also like to take this opportunity to convey our greetings to those who view us and take our message. Today, the 3rd November 2025, I will share with you just a few issues. The first is that you are all aware that primary 7 candidates are sitting their PLE exams today and tomorrow. Uganda Police Force and other security agencies are responsible for securing the examination process. We urge everyone to ensure that the candidates complete their 2-day examination schedule without disruption. I come strong on this. You recall that currently we are in an election period with the presidential campaigns, which you are aware are attracting large crowds and a number of associated activities that have impact on students. There are those you find have large music, large crowds, processions towards the campaign venues. So as security, we feel it is very imperative to communicate to the country. You will find some candidates may not have figured it out, that in such a situation, you really need to avoid putting your campaign near any school that is undergoing this exercise. So we call upon all candidates to ensure that in whatever you do during your campaign period in these 2 days, factors in the fact that PLE students are doing their exams. We also call upon individuals to refrain from any actions that may violate the law or compromise the integrity of the examination process. After you have broken the law in respect to these exams, should you be caught, you certainly will end up in our hands as police. So as a preventive measure, we find it imperative to communicate to you early, because soon you will be seeing some of these fellows being brought for a number of offenses, including malpractice, impersonation. There are a number of things, you know, most of these acts. And as we speak, already some have already fallen prey to this. Currently in Lira, our police has 3 suspects in custody for attempting to bribe a UNEB scout. so as to influence whatever they wanted to influence. So the suspects, I will give you their names. These are Odong George, Ekut Simon, and Awoko Lavosia. I will not mention the scout's name, as I have it here. So this was, they wanted, the scout is based on Oyam district. And it is alleged that they had come with a sum of money in the range of 1 million shillings. They were nabbed from Garden Hotel in Lira City. Some exhibits were recovered and the investigations are going on. Like I said, it's an examination issue, but it will end at the police station if you try to go against the laws governing the process. The second issue is the issue where I shared information about the incidents of 1st November in the Rwenzori regions. Like I earlier said, we had a coordinated attack on a number of security installations. Quarters have been giving you updates on a number of issues pertaining the police and the other security agencies' operations. I would like to repeat that the operations are still going on. As the chief spokesperson of the police force, I'm still not yet ready to give you detailed statistics, because every day we are receiving updates. Security agencies are still doing a lot of combing. Interrogations are still going on. We have good leads, but I request you will have to be patient with the formal statements on numbers. But I would like to reiterate that we have arrests. There were fatal casualties or fatal statistics. There were injuries on the side of security agencies. But that is so far what I can communicate. Now, the most important issue I want to put forward today is a call to the public about leaching, because a few of the fatal outcomes were out of mob action. Most people want to call it mob justice, but it's not justice at all. So there was mob action. People suspect some others, because even these suspects come from communities. There were those who could have been found with instruments or implements like pangas and other associated tools, which could have been suspected to be part of this exercise. But against all those odds, it is our appeal as security agencies that we need to come into contact with those suspects. Do not take the law into your hands as a wananchi. In a similar vein, I know some of you may want to ask me about it, but let me answer it in time. The issue is, there was also a video shown of suspected officer shooting at a suspect. That video is under scrutiny and analysis, and when we come out with an appropriate analytical result, then we can communicate. But we urge the public to remain calm and continue their daily activities. we managed to counter this threat, and I can ably confirm that we suppressed it. So let people be calm, let there be no anxiety, let them go on with their normal activities. Lastly, if they have any information that can be of use to security agencies, please reach out to any security agents and share this information in confidentiality. We shall treat it with the confidentiality it deserves, and we shall act upon it. We also like to thank those members of public who have exhibited vigilance and cooperated with us up to this date. I thank you. I'm waiting for my brother of Baba. Oh, it is Baba. Oh. Okay, we shall be patient. Yes. Oh, we first go for the question and answer session. Okay, let me have you two and then my sister.
Despite the fact that you're looking to learn all the statistics, the attacks, according to your preliminary investigations, what's the motive of this attacks on the banks?
Okay. Yes. Okay, we shall come to that.
Thank you, Afande. My name is Shamima Bukosa. I work with NPS. I want to find out why there seems to be uncoordinated information, if you would like to call it, because you are restraining yourself from making a statement on how many individuals could have been injured and even killed. But police on ground in Kasese says 19 people died. And then there are political statements which we want to refer to as political. Ministers involved in giving information that could have seemed security in nature. They are not security ministers, they are not ministers of internal affairs. Even when they are ministers of communication, we want to know from you, is this information you have given them, are they part of the information gathering on the ground to say, Bunyangamu people are unhappy with the kingdom? Are those investigated information, or there could be different political motives one would find out from there?
Okay.
But also, funding from me, to say you suppressed the attack and the operation is still ongoing, what exactly is the status on the ground? Thank you, Afande.
Okay. Okay. Yes, please. It's okay.
We are in November season, and the rain is too heavy. And currently we have landslide in areas of Sete. Not only that, but even where we have places like Kampala, we have flooding too much. In the antibodies, we have data on Sete landslide. How many casualties do we have at the moment?
Okay. Yeah, please.
Okay. Afande, there is concern around the downtown event, around harm and the traders. Traders lost property in floods. Traders were beaten with security who was watching by that, if you like to call it. And one would want to know, why does it seem like there is protectionism around a particular investor and people are losing billions in events where security is expected to be protecting them.
Okay. Yes.
There is that information that several NUP supporters were arrested last week along Sunday.
Several what?
NUP supporters. Ahead of their president is going to over areas. Any information about it?
Okay, I think we can go with those. So let me first give the, for our population, which would wish to hear this in Luganda, in our local dialect. Twagala okubajjukiza mwena nga bwe muli eyo nti enkya nga 3 November n'ennya oluddako abaana baffe abali mu kibiina ekyomusanvu bajja kuba batuula ebibuuzo byabwe ebya PLE leero 3 n'enkya 4 already ebibuuzo bigenda maaso kati nga kyetwagala okutegeeza abantu abali eyo is that twagala exercise eno etambule bulungi olusi ebeeramu okusoomozebwa kati jjukira tulina elections ezigenda maaso campaigns wosanga nga abantu bakampeininga olusi baagala okuteeka campaigns ku bisaawe ebiri kumpi n'amasomero era bw'olaba nga security eziyiza ekyo muba kyetaaga ne mutegeera ku lwaki tuba tukikoze naye ate n'ekirala kye twagala okutegeeza abantu is that ekintu kyonna kye munaakola ekimenya amateeka mujjukire nti kigwera ku mulyango gwa poliisi mubeeramu usually emize egitera okulabika wosanga nga abantu either baagala okugulirira oba waliwo alooza nti asobola okutunda ndoza mu Luganda batera kukozesa ekigambo obusasi so ebyo byonna biyinza okuleeta obuzibu so kubanga byonna we bigwera bijja ku poliisi tuba twagala nitubategeeza nga bukyali naye ebyo byonna nga nkyabyogera already mu lira tuyina abantu 3 be twakamala okunyweza nga bano bagezezaako kiteeberezebwa nti babadde bawa bribe omuntu omu owa UNEB we bayita scout nti basobole okufuna obusasi era bano babadde ku Garden Hotel eya Lira ne banywezebwa era n'ebizibiti ebimu tubiina so ekyo kikulaga nti already wadde wano tuli kulabula naye abamu already batandise dda so twagala balabula nti amaaso tugataddeyo era abantu abamu bwe tunagenda okumalira zino ennaku 2 bajja kuba already tumaze okubanyweza abakwatiddwa mwe muli Odong George, Ekut Simon ne Awoko Lovoisa era nga abo tubayina mu kaguli ka poliisi ensonga endala gye njagala okwogerako yeya incident eyabaddewo mu Rwenzori region twajja ku lunaku olwo ne tubawa updates weewaawo Sinakubawa updates ku figures kubanga figures zijja bulijjo zichenjinga, operation zikyagenda maaso, abantu bakyakwatibwa abenyigira mu kikolwa kino, ate ne interrogation zikyagenda maaso. Tukyabuuza ka joji w'ebibuuzo abo be tulina mu mikono gyaffe, era nga security mu mitendera emitongole tetunaba kuwa final ekifaananyi ekisembayo ku statistics ezikwatagana ne operation eno. Waliwo obuvidiyo obubadde buyitiŋŋana, waliwo ke twalabye ng'omuntu akubibwa emiggo. Abantu ba bulijjo twagala okubakubiriza kumakinga sure nti tebatwalira amateeka mu ngalo, nti wabaawo omuntu yenna we bateebereza bategeeze security, ffe tujja kugezaako okulaba nti omuntu tumuyina ate tumutwala mu kaduukulu kaffe, n'ebirala ebikwatagana n'amateeka bijja kweyongerera okwo. Twagala okutegeeza abantu nti situation wetuuse kati baddeyo bakole emirimu gyabwe bulungi, tewaliwo threat for now. Wabaawo ensonga yonna gye beeraliikirira bagisharinge naffe. Ye message okusinga gye mbadde njagala okuyisaawo leero. Maybe kanziremuko ku bibuuzo. Akatambi ke mwalabye ak'omusirikale nga alabibwa nga akuba omuntu essasi, aba officers baffe bakatekinze on for analysis, then bajja kutuwa guidance ku kinaddako. Ebibuuzo kambiddemu, I think I will begin in the English version. Somebody asked about the motive of the suspects or the assailants. Interrogations are still going on. So when the motive is revealed by them, that's when security agencies shall come out and officially communicate the motive. This one I have answered. Serene, I think that one I've answered about the video of the police officer. That video is under analysis before I'm guided on what exactly has come out of the analytical exercise going on. My sister raised an issue of could there be uncoordinated information flow among sections of public servants. What I of course know is that yes, they may have in the operational environment, some officers may have shared with you their operational outputs. You recall that this operation is going on in a number of districts and a number of operational jurisdictions. So you may talk to an operational commander and he gives you statistics within his own operational scope. But as Uganda Police Force, we have not yet given you the sum total of our operational outputs. And I've said we shall give them to you at some point in time. If there is any other information out there, it can only serve just I know you pestered them to give you that information. You really engaged them. Fine, I saw some of them speak, but we shall speak to you formally and in an organized fashion. The this one also speaks to the motive that could it be that there is something communicated about that the people of Binyangabu. Now, all that, I also saw it on media spaces, but what I can only communicate is that what will come out of two things. One, either a group comes out and formally gives their motive, like the way most groups make attacks, and then they go to their websites and give formal communication about their motives, or an outcome of a police interrogation. So that is what precisely will guide a formal communicator like me. Otherwise, at the moment, the outcomes of the interrogations are not yet out. Neither have the groups that we suspect did this come out officially to communicate. So the rest, let's wait for that particular channel of communication. Then the other issue is about the rains and the current meteorological issues we are having. Yeah, I think the office of the Prime Minister has made a communication about this. I would be comfortable to leave it to be addressed by government as a disaster issue. I think as security, we are having our input in the rescue processes, but we also add the voice to call upon people to share any information that is relevant in this matter with us, all government agencies. We also call upon people to avoid risk-prone areas. I can also give advice. I know of incidents where previously you find there is a road which has been submerged by flood waters, and you find a motorist insisting. Now, those kind of risks are necessary, and they can be prevented by either the driver or the people being ferried or being conveyed in those vehicles. So I think in the last floods, I think near Karuma, we had that incident. We even lost, we also lost an engineer of UNRWA. Now, we always call upon people, do not allow some reckless driver to put you into harm's way. You can prevent it. And then the population out there, if you live in a risk-prone area, please ensure that you avoid those risks and always keep in touch with us. But otherwise, updates will be given in detail by OPM. We go to an issue raised about the incidents in downtown. The first is that traders were beaten. This is, of course, unfortunate. If there is any trader who was harmed, this we would call upon that trader to report, and would expect our police to carry out investigations and apprehend specific persons who could have committed offenses against such a trader. On issues of property lost, that is a matter which can be handled within using our civil procedures. They are well-laid procedures that can be exploited to address that. I think that one is not necessarily directly under police. The other issue is that raised here is that the investor is being protected. As Uganda Police Force, we have not protected the investor in any way to do anything. What we have only done is to ensure that there is calmness down there, and where there are breaches in security, we just ask for people to collaborate with us, and we see how to address any breach of the law down there. Lastly, one of our colleagues here has asked about whether it is true some NUP supporters were arrested last night. At the moment, I am not aware. But if there is any information to that effect, where somebody was arrested, you said in Chengera? If they were arrested in their capacity as NUP supporters, then I will get that information and then share it with you and the other relevant details associated with their arrest. Thank you. Kanziremu mu Luganda, waliwo abuuzizza nti kigendererwa ki ekiyinza okuba emabega wa bano abakoze tax e Kasese. Tukyayina abantu betwakutte ne interrogations zikyagenda maaso, so tetunaba ng'aboogezi b'ebitongole tetunaba kufuna feedback kuva mu abo abali okola interrogations ezo ku motives z'abano abantu, naye bwe tunazifuna tujja kuba tusharinga nammwe. Ekiddako is that yes, waliwo ba operational commanders ababadde bawa statistics wano na wali ya tukitegeera mu mbeera eyo gye babaddemu operations, waliwo bw'osanga nga atejjukira n'abannamawulire oluusi mba mwagala information mu budde obwo, so oluusi ne bawa bo nga bwe balabye ku ground, naye jjukira information gy'abakuwadde yeeyo mu katundu kaalimu, naye jjukira nti operations zigenda maaso mu bifo bingi, so mu ba officers bonna mwogera nabo teri ayogerera operations zonna wawe zaabadde ziri, so information gye mwafunyeeko mugende neeyo, naye nga ffe nze ng'omwogezi omutongole owa police tujja kubawa information esembayo nga tumaze okusunsula mu bantu betuli okola interrogations kubo n'okusunsula okulala kwonna ku operation eno. Ne kino ekigambibwa nti abantu ba Bunyangabu bayinza okuba banyiivu ku kingdom, biki ebyo byonna nze nja kubawa information eva one mu kusunsulwa oba mu luzungu kye tuyita interrogations, oba abantu abakoze kino bwe banaavayo mu butongole bo bennyini ne bavolontiyaringa ne boogera ki motive oba nabaani ababadde emabega w'ekintu kino. Waliwo abuuziza ku mataba agagenda maaso ne updates zonna oba tuyina updates zensobola okubawa is only that yes, twagala okukubiriza abantu ogezaako okwewala ebifo ebiyinza okubatuusa mu bulabe, mu luzungu kye tuyita risk prone areas. Ekyokubiri, wabaawo obubenje oba ekizibu kyonna ng'ekyo bakwatagane naffe n'ebitongole ebirala ebya gavumenti ebyekwasa ku bya ebigwa bitalaze. Information ekwatagana ne updates ezikwatagana ne statistics na bameka bikinga ebyo, office ya Prime Minister wa Uganda ejja kuba ebawa details ezikwatagana n'ekyo. waliwo abuuzizza nti ebiri wansi eyo ku downtown bagamba waliwo omusuubuzi omu we muwa protection abantu bakubibwa naki tetuyina musuubuzi yenna we tuwadde protection so that abantu bakubibwe ate n'ekirala bw'oba nga oyina omuntu yenna eyakukubye gwe ng'omusuubuzi muloope osharinge ne police details police ekole ogwayo erabe engeri gyereeta omuntu oyo mu mbuga zaayo. Then ebirala ebikwatagana n'emaali biki ebyo ndowooza waliwo emitendera emirala gye musobola kuyitamu okugonjoola issues ezo. Ekisembayo waliwo abuuziza nti ekyengera ekiro ekyakeeseza leero nti waliyo abawagizi ba NUP be twakute nga poliisi mbadde siyina information yeeyo maybe bwenjifuna nja kujja sharinge then tulabe tutandikirawo. Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala. Look, I think you're coming in on issues. Oh, okay, it's okay.
I just have one more question.
Please.
So do we rather dismiss? How do you think we should take that information coming from Kasese, considering that you call it unofficial? Do you think we should dismiss it? Is it known within and you're ascertaining?
May I answer you? It is inconclusive. The information you are being given is inconclusive because there is not one single communicator there who has the bigger statistical catch. Because if somebody in Rwenzori West speaks to you, may not give you information of Rwenzori East. Secondly, I have told you that operational outputs have been coming in bits. Even as I speak, I spoke to you on Saturday, but some more arrests were made on Sunday. So we are saying it is more prudent to first wait and we communicate. But at least we managed to tell you of the incident. Thank you. I think let's end it here. Let's end it here, please. Okay.
On the ongoing discussions, I think it's a very big disadvantage to us, the media, and you, the police as well, when people on ground, the commanders on ground are telling us a number, and you, the spokesperson, are not giving us a certain number. At least say 10 or more have been killed. In this age of social media, there's a lot of misunderstanding and misinformation going on there. But if we clear it out and say at least 10 were killed, that will clear at least the air for the police and also for the people that will.
My brother, I've given the reason why. And let's exercise patience. Let's exercise patience. Yeah. I thank you very much. Okay. Oh, my sister is here. You're welcome. I hope everything's good. Okay, thank you.
Here in front. Bansonyiwe singa omanyi kyembaddeko bansonyiwe. Good morning, colleagues, members from the press and officers from the police. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer Kaule Musamba, and I bring you greetings from the Uganda National Examinations Board. And right now, as I speak, we have 2 sets of examinations going on. We have the UCE examinations for the senior force, which is going on. The candidates are doing their last week of examinations. They will be ending on Friday. And we have the primary leaving examination, which did start on Friday with a briefing of candidates. And this morning, the candidates are writing mathematics, and they'll be writing SST in the afternoon. I'm coming from a center right now, and all is going on well. We were able to deliver the examinations to all our stations in good time over the weekend. And by the grace of God, the weather has been good. So this morning, we were not having cases of candidates not starting examinations. They were all able to start examinations countrywide, and we are grateful for that. And on Friday, we are going to have the briefing of the candidates of USCE. So essentially this week, we have 3 sets of examinations. PLE is going on, UCE is going on, and of course, you're going to have preparations for the USCE, which commences officially on Friday with the briefing of the candidates. On behalf of the board, we would like to express our gratitude to the members of the Uganda National Teachers Union who did call off their industrial action to enable the teachers join us for invigilation and scouting. So we've had massive turn-up for all the members. All the people were expecting to come and do the supervision at invigilation level and at scouting level. So we are grateful to the members of UNATU for this positive action and for the support, because we don't know what we would have done in case all the teachers continued with the sit-down strike and were not able to join us for the supervision. So we have a total of about 60,000 personnel in the field who are helping us with the supervision of the examinations at different levels as scouts, vigilators, monitors, as well as security personnel. In total, in terms of candidature, we have a total of 885 candidates who did register for the examination. That's 885 candidates who did register for the examination. We expect all of them to be doing the examinations right now. This indicates a percentage increase of 2.5% compared to last year's candidature. And the centers we have are 16,140 from where the candidates are sitting the examinations from. Out of these candidates, 48% are males and 52% are females. This is usually kind of the usual range. We have 64% of these candidates sponsored by the government under the Universal Primary Education Program, which is a vote of confidence in our schools for the girls, sponsored by the government. So we want to thank the teachers so much who do teach our learners in the Universal Primary Education schools, because in fact many parents find that they find it more convenient to take their learners to the schools sponsored by the government. Is a vote of confidence in the government system. 36% are sponsored privately in the private schools. Among the candidates, we have 61 candidates who are in Rosida prison, and 7 of these are females, while 54 of these are males. We also have SNE candidates who need special education assistance, and these are 3,644 candidates whom the board is providing with special assistance. Some of them have hearing impairment, and so we provide sign language interpreters for these learners. Some of them have challenges in writing and reading, so we provide amanuensis, or we provide transcribers who help to transcribe and write for them. Others just need an extra 45 minutes, and then some of them that have visual impairment, we provide braille question papers, and then we also provide the braille answer sheets for them to answer the questions. And then for others, we just provide large print. If a learner is not able to read the small print, we provide large print question papers. And in all, we have a total of 1,505 support personnel who are supporting these candidates. In principle, all learners with special needs get an extra 45 minutes to accommodate the time lost as they're trying to address the challenges. However, we also have a provision for circumstantial impairment in case a learner gets a challenge immediately. Like as I was coming in, I was told of a learner, they were not able to write. We didn't initially plan for them, but suddenly something happened and they're not able to write. So we have to identify somebody, a child in a lower class, to come and help them. So we had to call, now all the learners are at home. We work with the school, they identify a learner in P5 to come and support and write for them, because suddenly they're not able to write for themselves. So we plan for what we call circumstantial impairment, just in case something happens to a child and they're not able to write for themselves, much as we did not plan for them. We also provide an extra 45 minutes for that category of learners. The special needs learners, I've already talked about them, and the field personnel. Yes, we've had cases of malpractice, and these are mainly cases of people trying to either try to compromise our scouts to enable them be lenient so they can provide external assistance to the candidates, or even impersonation. Last week we had a case of cases of schools, two schools in Kagadi, a school in Kagadi and a school in Hoima, who registered second school learners as POE learners, and we got to know about it using via a whistleblower. So we were able to apprehend these two people. Two of them actually have been arrested, and the one pleaded not guilty, so he's also under police custody. The action of impersonation is kind of increasing because people realize they can't receive the papers before. There's no more leakage. We've been able to tighten our security, so schools realize that they can't access the papers before the examination, and they try to use other means. That is why they're trying to register impersonators, which is also a crime. The other option they're trying to do is to compromise our scouts and invigilators. Just yesterday, police in Nira was able to arrest a director of a school, which Afande talked about in Nira, who was trying to compromise our scouts. So our director was arrested, and the scout and accomplice actually, and the head teacher of the school, Atura. So we want to caution all our field personnel. You've been sent to the field to try and curb malpractice and not to aid malpractice. In case you are convicted, the NEP Act provides for that, because we don't want to see learners lose their results. We don't want to see learners have their results cancelled. So in case a malpractice happens under your watch and the candidate's results get cancelled, you are going to be convicted under the NEP Act. You're going to be convicted under the NEP Act, Section 26(1)G, which provides for a maximum term of imprisonment of 5 years upon conviction, or a fine of 20 million shillings, or both. So once again, we call upon all our scouts there, all the invigilators, don't allow yourself to be compromised. Don't allow a malpractice to happen under your watch, because in case it happens, you are going to be apprehended. We got hold of some news of some media people in Hoima who were arrested this morning. I think they were trying to cover a distribution center where they were distributing papers. And I want to ask colleagues, please, we are not supposed to cover the examination process. Examinations are a security product. So covering that distribution means you're going to get the details of the envelope which is being distributed, and that could that's a security concern. We don't know why you are covering it, why you are capturing the pictures, and it could be shared anywhere, and it could be a security threat. That is why we ask the media people not to cover the proceedings of the examination process. However, we've talked to the regional police commander, and the father just assured me that they have been released. We asked them to be cautioned and to get them released. So dear colleagues in the media, please do not cover the examination process. You can cover outside when the learners are being checked. That is okay. There's no examination material. But the idea is not to tamper with examination material. So when you cover an examination material, it's termed as tampering with an examination material, which is an offense. That's why I don't want you to cover even inside the examination room. Because you're going to cover learners when they are writing. You could get maybe a question paper or something, and you zoom it in, and then you share it. And then other people can be able to, and then we shall have a malpractice arising out of that. So I want to request that let's avoid being so intrusive. Let's cover just the learners and don't get, and the learners outside when they are being checked or before they are being checked, but not examination materials at the distribution point or even examination room. The issues of impersonation, yes, we've talked about that, where the learners of the secondary school were registered, were registered to work to sit for the examination. So we are hoping that the actual learners are going to come up and sit for the examinations themselves, because we have them registered, and once we put out the impersonators, then we encourage the actual learners to come and do the examinations themselves. finally, we want to request the public to avoid getting involved in any form of malpractice. There are WhatsApp groups which you've seen where people are saying they are going to access the papers, they are going to help you do this and do that. Please don't get onto those WhatsApp groups. And in case you are there, do yourself a favor and get off that WhatsApp group. Or in case they send you something, please share it either with police or with your neighbor, but do not forward it, because once you do, that online dissemination of what is purported to be an examination material is an offense. And once convicted, and once you found into that line of dissemination, you are also liable. And you could be convicted. Once convicted, the fine is up to 5 years imprisonment or 20 million shillings. So I want to ask members of the public to avoid getting involved in any form of aiding and abetting malpractice. Yes, we also have cases in Katakwi where there were floods, and we worked with the local government authorities to try and transfer the learners from the unsafe places to the safer places. The principle is, in PLE, we work with the local government authorities to help us manage the examination. So in the event that there's a place which is not accessible, or there's a flood which has happened, or a landslide, then we improvise and see how we can transfer the learners to a safer place where they can be able to do the examinations from. Katakwi has been able to do that. They were able to shift the learners to another place where they're writing the examinations from. Another place was Atuke and Lepton, which was also prone to floods in case it rains. So we also asked them to transfer them to a safer place, so just in case it rains. Fortunately, we didn't have any rains this morning, but all the same, we had to make sure we take precautions so we don't get the learners cut off. In terms of distribution, we do get the local government authority officers to help us distribute the papers to the different schools. So we try and ensure that the papers are delivered to the schools in safe mode and also in good time. So all schools this morning were able to begin examinations. Majority of them were able to begin on good time. I want to thank you members for the press for your support, and may God bless our candidates. Mu Luganda, olwaleero ennaku z'omwezi nga 3 omwezi guno ogw'Okumi, abayizi baffe abakola ebigezo by'ekibiina ekyomusanvu ekya PLE batandise okukola ebigezo enkya y'olwaleero ng'abana abayizi bateekwateekwa ku Lwokutaano mu masomero gaabwe. Era mu wiiki eno ekigezo ekya siniya ey'okuna abayizi aba siniya ey'okuna nabo bagenda mu maaso n'okukola ebigezo byabwe eby'akamalirizo, era wiiki eno ye wiiki esembayo okukola ebigezo bya siniya ey'okuna. Ku Lwokutaano tugenda kubeera nga tutandika n'ebigezo bya siniya ey'omukaaga ng'abayizi bagenda kuba nga bateekebwa kye tuyita briefing. So wiiki eno essentially tulina ebigezo ebirungi so bigenda kuba nga bigenda mu maaso wiiki eno. Tulina PLE ng'egenda mu maaso ennaku zina ebbiri ezisooka, UC egenda mu maaso paka Olwokutaano, ate olwennyini Olwokutaano tulina kuba nga tuteekateeka abayizi aba siniya ey'omukaaga, ate era mpozi mu wiiki eno tulina kuba nga tuteekateeka abannaffe bagenda okutuyambako okukola ebigezo okukuuma oba okusupervisinga ebigezo ebya siniya ey'omukaaga. Enkya y'olwaleero ebigezo bitandise bulungi mu bitundu byonna byonna eby'eggwanga. Twasobodde okuba nga tutuusa empapula mu bifo byonna mu budde, era nga zaatuuse bulungi over the weekend. Kati bwe zivaawo tukolagana ne bannaffe aba local government, ba inspectors of schools ne batuyambako ozituusa ku masomero gye gaziteekeddwa okubeera. Tusaba bulijjo aba local governments ba CAOs ne batuyamba, aba officers abakola ku local government abakola ku districts ne babeera nga ne batuyambako okuba nga basaasanya oba batambuza empapula ezo naye nga si bodaboda nga luli omulundi ogwasooka ebigezo twafuniranga obuzibu. Kino bakikoze bulungi nnyo ne kituyambako nnyo okulaba nga enkuma y'ebigezo eteekeddwa bulungi. Twagala ng'ekitongole okwebaza bannaffe aba Uganda National Teachers Union abaasalawo okusirisa akeegugungo ekituyambye nnyo okuba nga tulina abantu abaddewo okukuuma ebigezo mu tayimu eno. Wonna awamu tulina abantu abawera kumpi emitwalo nga 6 twalaganye nabo okukuuma ebigezo mu bitundu byonna byonna eby'eggwanga. Tulinamu ba scouts, tulinamu ba invigilators, tulinamu ne ba security personnel be twalagana nabo okukuuma ebigezo ku mitendera egitali gimu. Twagala bonna okubeebaza olw'omulimu omulungi gwe bakoze. Abayizi tulina 1,817 mu 895 abeewandiisa okukola ebigezo nga ku bano abayizi ebitundutundu 48 ku buli 100 bayizi balenzi ate ebitundu 52 ku buli 100 be bayizi abawala. Bano bakolera ku centers 16,100 gye bagenda okuba nga bawandiikira ebigezo ebigenda mu maaso essaawa eno. Abayizi ebitundutundu 64 ku buli 100 bayizi basomera mu masomero ga gavumenti aga Universal Primary Education gavumenti bisasulira era nga twagala okwebaza bannaffe abasomesa abali mu masomero ago kubanga kino kiraga nti no abantu balina obwesige masomero ga gavumenti aga Universal Primary Education ensonga lwaki abaana bangi ku level eyo babeera nga basomerayo. Ate abayizi ebitundutundu 36 ku buli 100 bano bayizi abasomera mu masomero ag'obwannannyini abayite aga private. Tulina abayizi abalina obulemu ku mibiri gyabwe bano bonna amu tulina abayizi 13,644 abayizi abalina obulemu ku mibiri gyabwe bano ng'ekitongole tubawa obuyambi okusinziira nga babeetaaze. Okugeza tulinamu abayizi abatasobola kuwulira bano balina tubawa sign language interpreters nga bonna bali abayizi 3 abatasobola kuwulira betuwa sign language interpreters. Tulinamu abayizi abatasobola kuwandiika oba na kusoma bulungi abo tubafunira omuntu ayinza okumuyamba okumuwandiikira oba tubayita ba transcribers oba amanuensis kisinzira kiki abalina. Tubeeramu n'abayizi abeetaaga abatalaba nga tubawa braille machines tukozesa braille question papers awamu ne braille answer sheets obasobozesa okuwandiika ekigezo kyabwe. Kati tubeeramu n'abayizi abalala nga bo balina obuzibu balinga abalya bit slow balina ngeri bakitani ng'abasawo kati abo tubawo just an extra 45 minutes naye nga beewandiikira an extra 45 minutes naye nga bonna abayizi abalina obulemu ku mibiri gyabwe tubawa eddakiika 45 ezisukuma ku z'abalala okubayamba okuba nga bakwasaganya ensonga n'obudde bakola ki babeera bafiiriddwa mu kulwawo. Wabula singa omuyizi afuna obuzibu obubadde tebwasuubiddwa tulinawo era allowance eyo okulaba nti tusobola naye okumuyamba nga embadde nzija baŋŋambeko omuyizi alemereddwa okuwandiika abadde yali mulamu n'atuuse n'abeera nga nerves ziganye kati tumufunye omuyizi wa kilasi eya wansi aye kati kusoma tebaliyo tulina okufuna omuyizi tugalisomero banoonye omwana wa P5 mu neighborhood ajje ku ssomero amuyambe okumuwandiika kubanga tuba twamutegekedde ate baliwa kati mpeza olunaku olw'enkya tugenda kukola enteekateeka omuyizi oyo abeere ng'agenda naye asobole okuyambibwa. Wayinza okulaba nga afunye nga accident same thing nabo tulabanga tubafunira omuntu ayinza okubayambako singa afuna kye tuyita circumstantial impairment. Mu bayizi bano be tulina eruzira tulina abayizi 61 abakoze ebigezo mu kkomera ly'eruzira nga 7 ku bano bawala ate 54 be bayizi abalenzi. Abayizi 61 abakoledde ebigezo byabwe mu kkomera lyaffe ery'eruzira. Tulina ebifo nga Katakwi waliyo enkuba tonnya nnyingi nnyo amasomero agamu ne gabeera nga gali cut off ne gabeera nga galinga nga tegenda kubeera accessible nga ayinza okubeerawo obuzibu kati ne tukolagana ne ba local governments abaana ne babajja abali side yeeyo n'abaleeta mu kifo kye balowooza nti kiyinza okuba nga kiri safe obasobozesa abaana okukola ebigezo era basobodde okukola ebigezo bulungi ku makya gano. Ebifo ebya bitwali ne wayinza okubeerayo enkuba eyinza okulemesa abayizi kyabadde Leptong ne Atuke nabo ne tubagamba bajjeyo abayizi mu bifo enkuba ebiyinza okubeera cut off by floods singa enkuba ebeera nga etonnye nabo ne babajjayo. So twagala okubaza bannaffe aba local governments tukolagana nabo ku level eyo era nga ekigo kino ekya PLE tukolagana nnyo ne bannaffe aba local governments okutuyamba okuteekateeka ekigezo okusinziira ku embeera nga bweri mu district nga mu principle singa wabeerawo ekyokwekengera kyonna nti nno wayinza okubeera obuzibu bwonna bwonna obuyinza okubeerawo okulemesa abaana okukola ebigezo tuba tubasaba ne balaba nga abaana babajjayo ne bateeka mu kifo ekiyinza okubeera nga kisobozesa abayizi okukola ebigezo byabwe batali kutataganyizibwa kwonna. Twafunyeeyo bannaffe ababadde bagezaako okwekkiriranya nga no babadde mu district babadde ba scouts nga babajjeerira nga bagenda kukolera mu Oyam kati head teacher w'essomero the director w'essomero baliyita Atura community school, community primary school, yabadde n'akosi nga najja lira nga ategedde scout agenda okujja ng'agala muwa ssente abeere nga yekkiriranya aleke abasomesa be basobole okuba nga babbira abaana be ebigezo. Kyamukisa mulungi scout teyakkiriza, so yasobodde okutegeeza poliisi nejja nekwata waliwo scout munne eyabadde amulinga amufunidde deal nga lwedde liyalika yabadde nti amaze okufuna essente kati nga yamuliriddemu, ne bamukwata scout ne bakwata ne head teacher awamu ne director kati bali mu mikono gya poliisi. Era singa banaakwata singa musango gunaabasinga bajja kubanga etteeka ya UNEB section 25 akaweera akasooka liri bajja okukwatibwako eryogezaako aiding and abetting malpractice n'ogezaako okulaba nga baperepereza abantu okukola bascouts baffe okubanga babayamba okubbira abaana ebigezo. Amateeka ya UNEB amateeka gano gali mu singa abeera singa omusango gukusinga bayinza okuwa fine, bayinza okusa fine ya $5,000,000 oba $10,000,000 oba okusiba emyaka 2 oba emyaka fine ya mitwalo ya $2,000,000 paka $4,000,000 oba okusiba emyaka 5 paka emyaka 10 kisinziira. So twagala okulabula bannaffe bonna aba scouts ne ba visitors abali mu field. Ekikututte mu field kulaba nga oziyiza abayizi okubakopera ebigezo. Maxi zaabwe baleme kansolinga bigezo byabwe results zaabwe. So singa obeera scout kusomero wooli woowokinga supervisinga omwana ne babba ebigezo by'abaana ne babisazaamu omusango gugenda kubasinga. So scouts munna abali mu field labanga mukola omulimu gwammwe muziyize okulaba abaana nga tabakopera, so si kutuwa report mutugambe abaana bakopye ate bakansolinga results zaabwe. Akawaayiro 26 1G kano katukwatako ffenna abakola abasupervisinga ebigezo era nga basobola okusiba emyaka 5 oba okuwa endasi ya $20,000,000. N'ekisinga twagala okwewala okulaba nga abayizi basobola okufuna makisi zaabwe singa zibeera released okusinga bwe banaazikwata. Twafunayo ne case endala yali Kagadi ne Hoima nga waliwo ba head teachers abaali bawandiisa abayizi aba secondary babeere nga bawandiisiza nga abayizi aba primary. Guno omusango gwa naggomola baguyita impersonation naye nga gulaga nti mu kyeni mulimu abantu bangi, mulimu abazadde basasula ssente ezo, mulimu ba head teachers awamu n'abayizi abagezaako okutawaanya okusoma kw'abaana bano. So twagala okuzaba naffe ba heads of centers tubeere beesimbu tulabe nga tusomesa abaana banasobola okuba nga beekola ebigezo byabwe mu kifo ky'okulowooza nti mugenda kubabbira oba okubayamba mu ngeri efaanana bw'etyo. Ng'ekitongole tutaddewo emitendera mingi nnyo okulaba nga ebigezo tebikyasobola kuba nga babibba kye tuyita leakage eyo kukola nti ekigezo kati kinaakufuluma kati ng'ogeza nga mu afternoon wagenda kukolerayo SST ng'essaawa eno SST already yafulumye edda ebyo tuyita leakage. Kati tufubye nnyo okulaba nga tunyweza nnyo natti zaffe ku level eyo, ensonga lwaki ba heads of centers ba directors bafuba okulaba nga bakozesa engeri endala ey'okubbira abaana, bafuna ababatuulira oba bafuna abantu ne bacompromisinga aba scouts ababeera bazze babeere nga baleka abasomesa bayambeko abaana bano, ate ekyo tukivumirira ddala era musango gwa naggomola. Twagala mpozi era n'okubiriza abantu bonna okwewala ababajeekajeeka nga babalimbalimba bagenda bawa obusasi oba WhatsApp groups bataddewo. Tulina security teams babeera bazimonitoringa, so twagala bakubira omulanga bannaye singa akantu kajja ku ssimu yo nga kalowoozebwa oba nga keekuusa ku kigezo kya UNEB wadde katuufu wadde nga si katuufu musango gujja kukwata, bayinza okusibira emyaka 5 oba okuwa engasi ya $20,000,000. So twagala obasaba bannange mwewale ensonga eyo. Ndowooza byebyo byembadde njagala okwogerako. Bannamawulire yesu abaddewo bannamawulire be bakutte Hoima babadde babiri, I think wadde wa NBS n'owa Uganda Radio Network. Babadde bagezaako okukavaringa ku station distribution station. Kati distribution station babeera bagabira buli ssomero nga baligabira. kati mu tteeka lya UNEB ekisooka bannamoye tetuli supposed kubanga tucoveringa process y'ebigezo to that detail kubanga ebigezo ebyo ba examination materials ziringa nga bya security products kati singa oba ozuminga out envelope wayinza okuba kyona ekikola ki ekiyinza okuba babeera beekengera aba security temanyi lwaki oba okuba envelope eyo oba wena bweyagala okugamba akutte envelope bwati mumukwatira oba mumusanga oba ekifaanaganako bwe kityo sinja okwiza nange bannamawulire twewale okubanga tuyingira twewale okubanga tucoveringa ebintu ebitakkirizibwa kubeera covered ebigezo examination materials tetuli suppose kubanga tutamparinga na tucovering batrigadinga nga tampering than examination material nekyo mukisa omulungi tunyonyodde abapoliisi nti babadde tebakitegedde neabacautioninga era afanda nkakasizza nti wetwogerera kati bamaze okubanga babafulumiza tukoze bulungi nnyo netwagala okubasaba twewale okucoveringa abayizi nga bali mu classroom nga batandise okukola ebigezo okucoveringa materials z'ebigezo oba lupapula kebeere baasa ezo zonna ziyitibwa examination materials tetuteekeddwa kubanga tuzitaataaganya tusobola okuba ebifaananyi wabweru ng'abayizi bayingira nga babakebera ekyo kikkiriza nga tewali material ebeerawo nikye batakkiriza ku station kwa distributinga waliwo materials teteekeddwa kuzicoveringa awamu ne mu examination room nga bayingiza empapula z'abaana zebagenda okukolako neyanziza nnyo for God and my country.
What's the basis of according 45 minutes? In the previous examinations you had with these children that have disabilities or have challenges while you're doing exams, or even in their daily life, have you assessed that the 45 minutes are enough for them to put their minds to think, because they're children that have lapses for minutes and minutes?
Well, of course, it can't go on until forever, and I'm sure this was scientifically established that 45 minutes are enough. Actually, most of them don't even need them, but it's the principle, whether you need it or not. So if you don't need it, you can get out before. If you need it, then you use it. There are some, especially who need transcribers. They are thinking through the process. They are reading you read the question to them, and then they think through, and then they tell you the answer or something like that. So definitely those ones need it, but others do not need it. So this is something which was established scientifically, that 45 minutes would be sufficient for them to cover for the lost time.
The issue of the hard-to-reach areas, where landslides are currently, what is the information other than pulling these students from their localities to neighboring schools? What information have you added on top of that?
Okay.
And do we have any delays in such areas in delivery of the examination?
What I can confirm is that we were able to deliver to the stations in good time as of yesterday. This morning, I haven't received the reports as yet, but in principle, because we work with local governments, so we work with the CAOs, the chief administrative officers, we work with the district education officers, and we've been having engagements with them to establish. And for those who were expecting to have the hard-to-reach areas, we had a special budget for them to help them cater, make special arrangements, because we can't be there. And because they are in the local area, they are able to address the issues locally in a better way. So they just communicate to us. So we give them the leeway. So like I said, in principle, once you realize you need to shift the candidates, then you shift them to another place. And we work with partners like Red Cross. So if they need to provide maybe a tent or a safe place for them to work from, then they will do that. And I know it's only Katakwi which had transferred their candidates. Leptong and Atuke, they were still considering, but I'm not sure if they were able to transfer them because they were saying in case the rains are heavy. So they just had a standby plan. Yes, please. Okay. Hard to reach areas, yes. Before ebizibu okutuukamu. Okugeza waliwo ebifo nga Katakwi twafunayo amatagani nga matebe nkuba yatonya nnyo. Kati abaana abamu nga bannasaidi gye balimu nga tebasobola kutuukayo. Kati bwe tuba tukola ekigezo kya PLE tukolagana ne bannaffe aba local governments ne ba district inspectors of schools, DEO's office awamu ne bakaawo. Twogeraganya nabo ne tuteesa batulya budget baba beetaaga ssente okubayambako okushiftinga abantu bano tubawo already budget ebeerawo ya hard to reach areas. So singa kiba kyetaagisiza kubanga emirundi egisinga piro ibwebeerawo enkuba etonnya nnyo kati ebifo ebyo bimu bifukola ki bimanyiddwa ebisobola okufulaadinga. So tubawa budget sente obayamba okukola okutransferinga abayizi abo era nga kimanyi over the weekend abaana b'ekatakuya abaana babadde cut off enkuba eyatonnya katakuya transferinga abaana abamu ne batwala mu kifo ekirala bakolagana ne ba Red Cross ne bawa ekifo bayinza okubateeka. Abaleptong ne atuke nabo baali bateebereza nti singa enkuba eba etonnye bayinza okufuna obuzibu nabo nga balina enteekateeka nti singa eba etonnye ne basalako bajja kubanga bakola ki bajjayo abaana. So mu principle tukolagana ne ba local governments, so singa babeerawo obuzibu bonna tukwasaganyizaamu ensonga eyo ate bwaba kyetaagisa bannaffe aba security nabo batuyambako okulaba nga tuyamba abaana bano. Ekigendo kyabina kyakola nti buli muyizi abeera nga yeewandiisizza naffe asobola okuba nga akola ebigezo ate mu mbeera eyinza okumusobozesa okuwandika ebigezo obulungi. Eyanzanya. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to specifically talk about the operations that have been going on in Kampala Metropolitan. You're all aware, last week we were here, there were questions of Bijambia, there were questions of Magging. I gave you a little bit of the successes we had. But throughout the week, different police stations within Kampala Metropolitan conducted operations. The notable one is that, which I will also discuss further, is the operations of Sanji on Napanga welding assailants, where we believe we have dismantled the network and other assailants who are believed to be under the activity of machete wielding, assaulting members of the public are in hiding. And I want to inform you also that we have been able to identify them and we are looking for them specifically, headhunting, not just randomly arresting persons. So on that note, I want to say that the Kampala metropolitan area have continued to conduct operations aimed at dismantling criminal hideouts, restoring public order, and ensuring safety of residents across the region of Kampala Metropolitan. These operations were carried out in identified black spots known for harboring wrongdoers engaged in unlawful activities such as narcotic substance abuse, robberies, and other related crimes. I'll break down this division, some divisions which carried out very significant operations, and in the areas. A series of coordinated operations were conducted in Goma, which is under Mukono Division Police, Nama Central, and Nachisunga areas. At Goma Jogo Center, 9 suspects were arrested. At Walusubi Center, in Nama Sub-County, 12 suspects were apprehended. In Chitenga, Wantoni, Bengazi, and in Sube, 12 suspects were arrested. In Namuyenje and Nachisunga Sub-County, 9 suspects were apprehended. In Namataba, Namaojoro, and Walusubi, 10 suspects were arrested. At Natabura, in Namave Industrial Park area, 9 suspects were apprehended. This brings the total number of suspects arrested in Mukono Division to 61. All the suspects were arrested from known black spots where criminals gather to engage in unlawful activities. Several exhibits of suspected narcotic substances were recovered, and the suspects were detained. And I want to inform you that last week they were arraigned in courts of law. Chira Division, that is in Wakiso District, at Chiyinda Zone, Chira Municipality, 3 suspects were arrested from a home where narcotic substances were being sold and consumed. We received information of a home which acts as a shop selling marijuana, and we made a raid and arrested those 3 persons and also recovered the items. Police also recovered 11 bundles of rolled substances suspected to be narcotics. The suspects were arrested on Friday. I believe today they will be arraigned in court. Nansana Division, Wakiso, also had an operation conducted under Wamala Police Post, which led to the arrest of 8 suspects from Wamala, Kasumba, Karanzi, Chinyaranda, and Taba subzones. They were found with suspected substances, and they were arraigned in court on Friday. Jinja Road Police Station had operations, and they were conducted in areas of Thailand, Katogo, Cargo areas, Chinawataka. They led to the arrest of 16 suspects involved in criminal activities. Suspects were charged with unlawful possession of suspected narcotic substances and public nuisance. They were also arraigned in court last week. Old Kampala Police Division had 2 separate operations where it conducted, which were conducted in areas of Nakulabye, Chisenyi. 48 suspects were arrested. That is 24 in areas of Nakulabye and 24 in areas of Kisenyi. Several exhibits like narcotic substances were recovered, dangerous weapons like machetes, knives. We also recovered a toy gun. We believe it is used in the robberies. So in total of all these operations, excluding those of Onsanji, over last week we arrested 136 suspects. Many have been arraigned in courts of law, and others are to be arraigned this week, hopefully today on Monday. So we not only do the operations, we have been engaging the communities. And last week, our police in Nansana hosted a very mega engagement, which was chaired by the head of police in Kampala Metropolitan, that is Commissioner of Police Echega. A lot of other DCs were in attendance. We discussed vigilance. We are only appealing members of the public to remain vigilant and give us more information about criminal activities to help us identify dark spots, areas where criminals frequent. We also talked about addressing family issues. We do realize that many of the suspects arrested youths. Most of them come from broken homes. They either ran away from home or the parent did not take care of the child and the child is now living on the streets. So we discussed a lot about family to address the problem from the root. We believe with constant community engagement on neighborhood watch, domestic violence, prevention will help in reducing these kinds of crime in the future. Now, these operations will continue. We can only inform members of the public that we are committed to continue with these operations and appeal to them to give us more information. On the issue of Unsanji, the police dismantled the network of Panga and Iron Bar, paver-wielding criminals terrorizing in Unsanji Division. The Territorial Police of Unsanji, working together with other sister security agencies, we want to give them credit for helping us and working with us, have successfully dismantled the criminal network that has been terrorizing residents through violent attacks and aggravated robberies. I informed you last week on how we did operations in the area and made arrests of 36 suspects on different allegations, but we were able to identify some of these ringleaders after an attack that happened on the 17th of October 2025, where a mobile money vendor in Manja Cell, Katereke Ward, was violently assaulted and robbed. And her phone, her phone was stolen, and around 3.6 million was taken. Now, we managed to use many techniques of investigations. We were able to identify one of the assailants behind this attack as Nwagaba Shaban. Now, Nwagaba Shaban was arrested, confessed to the act of robbery, and also an incident where someone was murdered in the areas of Nsanji, and led us to the arrest of his accomplice, one Turinawe, who was apprehended in Mbarara. Now, Turinawe and Shaban confirmed that the items that are stolen, specifically phones during their robberies, are sold to someone within a city center who was also arrested over the weekend. We managed to recover items like phones from that shop. And this, of course, comes back to the business people. If you're in an activity of promoting crime, you shall be arrested and charged with being in possession of suspected stolen items and also being an accomplice to a crime. Because we believe these businesses have, like the operation we did last week on side mirrors and guardrails of cars and harriers, which were being stolen and being sold to shops in Chiseka Market. All these people who buy these items will be arrested and charged alongside with these suspects who steal items and sell to them. So the operation was successful, and we know there are others who are still on the run because, as I said, we have their identities and we shall headhunt for them specifically, not just arresting random persons. So we can only appeal to members of the public to remain vigilant and always inform the police when there is an unusual activity or unusual persons in their area. Now, there is a case of a kidnap that is being investigated by our police at Katwe. It was reported at Nyanama police station. Whereas efforts are still on to recover the child, it is unusual. It is an unusual case of a kidnap. It is alleged that on the night of 31st October, a complainant, Atieno Agnes, 27, a worker at Movit Company, left home for her night shift duty, leaving her 3-year-old daughter, Nyakecho Agnes, in the care of her sister-in-law, Abo, 19. At 1 a.m. in the morning, a group of about 7 people, 3 women and 4 men, allegedly stormed the house, knocking the door and the window, demanding that the occupants open. Upon opening, they entered, asked for this is the husband of the complainant, Atieno Agnes, asking for his whereabouts. He's called Opendi Dennis, and also the whereabouts of Atieno. Now, the caretaker informed them, Nyakecho informed them that these people were not around, and what they decided to do is to kidnap their child and ran away with the child to an unknown location. Now, surprising, someone, of course, informed the woman on phone later on that if he wants the child, he should tell the husband to send to them 7 million Ugandan shillings. Now, this looked like a ransom at first, until we talked to the husband, and we discovered that while he was Opendi Dennis and his colleagues, who were reportedly working with Zunulula Tours and Travel, were accused of fraudulently obtaining money and passports from clients after promising to secure them jobs abroad. The suspects allegedly closed the company and went into hiding. Now, these people, when they failed to trace for Dennis, they came and took the child so that the man can come out of hiding. Now, this is wrong. It is totally wrong and unacceptable, and we want to inform you that an investigation is ongoing. The matter of Opedi Dennis can be investigated separately. On phone, he confirms to know the people behind this, and we have started our own investigation. We can only appeal to the people having the child. You're known. Please bring back the child, and we promise to investigate your matter separately, where money was obtained from you, and the police will help investigate the matter and see that Opedi is arrested on those allegations. But committing a crime to solve your own issues is not necessary. We inform members of the public with any information about this child to call the police at Katwe, specifically the OCCID on 0773-252-460. Now, over the weekend, we also had some activities that were policed. We had the Masaza Cup. We also had the NSSF Marathon. Both these activities pulled a big number of crowd, specifically now the Masaza Cup that was held on the 1st at Ham Stadium, which is Nachivugo Stadium. I want to confirm that we did not register any incident. We prepared early. We were in touch with the organizers and also the hosts to see that the event, which of course saw His Royal Highness, the Kabaka, present, to be secured, and it was successful. However, of course, in the morning, on Sunday, woke up to a wash of social media claims that the Katikiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga, was robbed during the Masaza Cup of his phone. I want to confirm that this is not true. Our officers had an engagement with him, and he denies any such act happening towards him. And the thing has since gone viral on social media, with some of people making replies that are funny. President Akasimu. So we want to inform you that stop peddling these lies. Nothing like this happened. The event was very successful, and no arrest was made actually, and no case was registered. On the marathon, it happened across 4 divisions in Kampala Metropolitan, pulled a crowd of over 7,000, and we also did not register any incident. It happened on the 2nd yesterday, and we did not register any incident. There was also a case of electrocution, which happened on Saturday in Chive Zone, Makerere Parish, Kawempe. One Fatima Namuwonge was electrocuted and died after she touched an illegally connected live wire on a banana leaf. Last week, Afande was here talking about illegal connections. I want to reiterate that they are bad. In a way, they can lead to loss of life like we have seen here. We shall investigate this matter in a way of identifying who specifically did this illegal connection and have them prosecuted. We shall continue to bring these incidents out so that people know the dangers connected to illegal connections. Thank you. Muluganda. Poliisi wano mu Kampala n'emiriraano erina ebikwekweto bye yakoze sabbiiti ewedde oluvannyuma lw'abatuuze mu bitundu ebyesudde mu Kampala n'emiriraano okuva ngayo ne beemulugunya obumenyi bw'amateeka obadde buzzeemu okuba nti n'obulabika mu bitundu. Obumenyi bw'amateeka buno kusinziira kunoonyereza kwe tuzze tukola n'okwogerako n'abantu, tukizudde nti ebiragalalagala mpozi ng'otaddeko n'okusuulirira abaana olumu n'obutaba na mirimu kyekiviiriddeko abantu okwenyigira mu bikolwa bino. era twakola ebikwekweto mu bitundu ebyo bye tuzze tufunamu okwemulugunya okungi nga Mukono yasinga okukola ebikwekweto ebingi mu bitundu omuli Goma, Jogo Center, bwe yakwata abantu 9, mu Walusubi Center mu Nama sub county yakwata abantu 12, mu Kiteega, Wantoni, Bengazi n'Ensuube yakwata abantu 12, Namuyenje ekisangibwa Nakisunga sub county yakwata abantu 9, Namataba, Namawojjolo ne Walusubi yakwata abantu 10, Nattabura ekisangibwa mu Ndamanve industrial area yakwata abantu 9. Bano be bantu 61 abakwatibwa era ng'abantu bano batwalibwa mu mbuga z'amateeka oluvannyuma lw'okukwatibwa mu bifo ebimanyikiddwa mu kitundu ekyo ng'ebibeeramu abamenyi b'amateeka. Era basangibwa n'ebiragalalagala, basangibwa n'ebintu ebiteebeezo ku ebyobulabe ne basimbibwa mu mbuga z'amateeka. Mu Kira division mu Kiyindi Kira municipality 3 bakwatibwa. Wano okukwatibwa kyaddira poliisi okufuna amawulire nti mu kifo kino mulimu ennyumba ekola nga supermarket y'enjaga. Bw'oba oyagala enjaga ogenda n'okugula enjaga nga bw'oyagala era osanga bagikuzingidde bulungi nga sigala. Era ebidondi bino 11 byonna byazuuliddwayo ne tukwatiramu n'abantu 3 mulimu omukyalo omu era bano bakutwalibwa mu mbuga z'amateeka olunaku olwaleero. Poliisi yaffe ey'e Nansana nayo akola ekikwekweto mu bitundu bya Wamala, Kasumba, Karanzi, Kinyarwanda n'Ettaba era nefuna ebiragalalagala nga kwotadde n'ebiso bye yasanga mu bifo bino. Jinja Road Police Station yakola ebikwekweto mu Katogo, Thailand ne Kaggo, Kinawataka mu yakwata abantu 16. Bano basangibwa n'ebiragalalagala era baguddwako emisango egy'okusangibwa n'ebiragalalagala mu bumenyi bw'amateeka era yasangayo n'ebimundu ebikozesebwa mu bubbi. Poliisi yaffe y'Old Kampala yakola ebikwekweto 2 mu yakwatira abantu 48 bitundu by'e Nankulabye ne Kisenyi era bano batwalibwa mu mbuga z'amateeka sabbiiti ewedde. Twasangayo ebiso, ebyogi, ennyondo, ebijambiya n'ebyuma bye bakozesa okumenya amayumba. Mugatte gw'abantu 136 era ng'oggyeko okuba nti no tukola ebikwekweto tugezaako okwogerezeganya n'abantu mu meetings zetuzze tukola ng'eyakolebwa e Nansana ng'ekulembeddwamu Commissioner wa Police Chega Richard. Ne twogerezeganya n'abantu ne tumanya obuzibu buno buvaawa, abantu abamenya amateeka bano babeera mu bitundu ki, era ne tukkaatiriza nnyo ensonga z'amaka okulaba nti abantu bafaayo nnyo mu kuzimba amaka, mu kulabirira abaana n'ebirala. Kuba bino bye bitera ovaamu abamenyi b'amateeka. Omwana bw'omulekerera ogenda okulaba ng'avuddemu obumenyi bw'amateeka. Abaana obutabalabirira nga tobawa fiizi, waawo oyinza obba olina ensonga oba emenda lwaki tokikola, naye kino tukirabye nga kireeta abaana ku street ne batandika okwenyigira mu bumenyi bw'amateeka. Poliisi yaffe naye ye Najjira yakola meeting zino ne twogera ku misango egisinga obungi okuripootingwa ku poliisi omuli obutabanguko mu maka nabwo tubulaba bungi ate nabwo buvaako embeera ey'okwongeza obumenyi bw'amateeka mu bitundu oba abaana okuva mu maka ne bagenda ne batandika okwenyigira mu bumenyi bw'amateeka. So tweyama kusigala maaso nga tukola ebikwekweto bino n'okusingira ddala okusaba abantu kusigala nga batuwa amawulire tusobole okuba nti nno tuzuula obumenyi bw'amateeka we buli, tusobole okuba nti no bukolebwako. Sabbiiti eziyise era abantu babadde bangi naddala bannamawulire, abantu ba bulijjo nga beemulugunya ku nsonga y'ebijambi ebibadde mu nsangi. Njagala obategeeza nti essaawa zino waliwo akalembe mukayita kalembereza ng'obumenyi bw'amateeka bukenderedde ddala mu bitundu by'ensangi. Twatandika ebikwekweto nga bwe nabannyonnyola sabbiiti eyise ebyaviiramu okukwatibwa kw'abantu abawerako ne batwalibwa mu mbuga z'amateeka ate mu wiiki eno yennyini gye twakavaamu twafuna amawulire mu kunoonyereza ke twakola ne bannaffe mu bitongole ebikuumaddembe ebirala okwatuyamba okumanya bani abadde bakola obumenyi bw'amateeka buno mu bitundu by'e Namagoma, Nakitokolo, Central Chambers, Sanji Central Chambers, Katereke, Maya ne mu Kasenge. Ne tukizuula nti mulimu omwami gwe bayita Shabani. Shabani Nuwagaba ono kunoonyereza kwe twakoze kulaga nti ye yali emabega w'ebikolwa ebyakolebwa ennaku z'omwezi 17 omwezi oguwedde omwali omukyala gwe babba mu Manja Sero Katereke Wadi obukadde 3,600 ne bamubbako n'essimu nga tukusinziira kunoonyereza okw'enjawulo tuyambibwako bannaffe twanoonyeza Nuwagaba Shabani ono n'akwatibwa era yakkiriza okuba nti yabadde emabega w'obumenyi bw'amateeka nga bwe yabutunnyonnyodde era ng'obumu ku bo bwaviiramu omuntu okufa, so ali ne ku musango gw'okubbisa eryanyi kyavaamu ettemu. Ono yatubaze munne mu kunoonyereza kwe twakoze tuli nawe Edi ono yakwatiddwa mu bitundu by'Embalala era ne bakkiriza nti ebintu ebadde babba nga byekuusa ku masimu electronics oba ebyamasannyalaze babadde balina bye babitunda wano mu Kampala ku kizimbe ekimu. Twakoze ekikwekweto ne tukwata omuntu omu era naye tumuyina. Twongera okulabula abantu abenyigira mu kugula ebintu ebibbe nti bw'okwatibwa ojja boggulwako omusango ogw'okukobaana n'ababbi abano okukola ekikolwa oba kyattemu oba kyakubba n'eryanyi then oguleko n'omusango ogulala ogw'okusangibwa n'ebintu ebibbe oba ebintu ebiteebereza okuba ebibbe. So tubasaba makinga sure tebenyigira mu bikolwa by'amateeka bimenya amateeka kuba ekikola kino buli weeyongera okugula ekintu ekibbe n'omubbi naye amanya alina bizinensi yeeyongera mu maaso okukola kintu kino ate bwe baba babikoze baleka balumizza abantu ebiseera ebisinga abantu bano ne batwalibwa mu malwaliro bayinza omala akaseera ne bafa era ffe tusigala tunoonyereza ttemu omuntu bw'afa nga kimuviriddeko okufa yakubibwa peeva oba yakubibwa nyondo tusigala tukunoonyerezaako nga yatemudde omuntu. So tusaba abantu obutenyigira mu bikolwa wadde oyagala ssente ez'amangu mukendeze ku sipiidi. Tuyina n'okuwamba kw'omwana kwe tunoonyerezaako. Kuwamba kw'omwana kuno si kwa bulijjo naye kikola kimenya amateeka era kituleetedde okuvaayo okukyogerako n'okukubiriza abo bonna abalina omwana ono okuvaayo bamuleete ku poliisi oba bamuzzeeyo gye bamugye tusobole okuba nti nno tunoonyereza ku nsonga ezibaluma kusinga okutwalira amateeka mu ngalo okuviiramu okuwamba kw'omwana. Incident eno yaloopeddwa ng'ennaku z'omwezi 31 omukyala Atieno Agnes myaka 27 ng'ono agamba nti yava awaka n'aleka omwana we w'emyaka 3 eri mukwano gwe Nyakecho Agnes. Nyakecho njagala kutereezaamu omwana we ye Nyakecho Agnes gwe yamulekedde ye Abbo Catherine. Omwana eyawambibwa ye Nyakecho Agnes gwe yamulekera ye Abbo Catherine. Kigambibwa okusinziira ku Abbo nti zaabadde essaawa nga 7 abazigu oba abantu abataategeera bajja ne bamukonkona ne babuuza omwami Opedi Dennis ne maama w'omwana ono bawe bali n'abategeeza nti tebaaliwo ne basalawo okutwala omwana ono Nyakecho. Abo yategeeza abazadde ne bajja ne bagulawo omusango ku poliisi. Bye twakazuula byewuunyisa kuba muno mwe tujja ensonga okuteebereza lwaki oba omwana ono yawambiddwa nti omukyala ono olunaku olwajjo yafunye essimu eva mu bantu abadde bamusaba $7,000,000 nga balumiriza nti ze baagala okuba nti nno bazza omwana we era omukyala bwe yayogeddeko ne taata w'omwana n'amutegeeza nti abantu abo abagambibwa okuba nti bali emabega w'ekikolwa ekyo abamanyi, ng'era kye twakazuulako nti omwami ono Pedi Dennis ng'akola ne banne mu Nurula Tours baggulawo kampuni ne batandika okuwandiisa abantu nti babatwala bweru ne babajjako ne passport ne bamala ne bagiggala ne badduka ne ssente zaabwe ne passport. So abantu bano bagezezzaako okunoonya abantu bano naye ndowooza ne balemererwa, kyabaviiriddemu okutwalira amateeka mu ngalo okuwamba omwana era nga basaba obukadde 7 okuzza ze tulowooza nti ze ssente ze babanja okuzza omwana ono. Babadde 7 ate babanja bukadde 7, ndowooza buli omu oba abanjako kamu. So yembeera eriwo naye nga tubakubiriza ekikolwa kino kimenya amateeka nti bw'oba omuntu akukozeeko omusango ate tolina kutwalira amateeka mu ngalo okuwamba mwana talina kyamanyi. Oba oliawo n'omukyalo ono yabadde talina kyamanyi kuba oluvannyuma lw'okuggalawo kampuni bano badduka ne mu Kampala tebaliemu. Poliisi ejja kukola kyonna ekisoboka okulaba nti identifying Pedi waali naye n'abo abanyigidde mu kikolwa ekyokuwamba ono omwana tubakubiriza omwana mumukomyewo talina kyamanyi era nga tusaba oyo yenna alina amawulire akubire OCCID mu kitundu kino ku namba 0773 25 24 sobola okuba nti n'omwana ono tumukwasa nnyina twongere maaso okunoonyereza ku nsonga zammwe. Sabbiiti era eno ewedde tubadde twandiyise ebintu ebyamasanyu ebyakuŋŋaanyiza abantu bangi. Mwabadde Masaza Cup yabaddewo ng'ennaku z'omwezi lumu mu Ham Stadium wali e Nakivubo, era njagala okakasa nti tetwafunye omusango gwonna oba abantu kubeera bangi ne baviirako stampede oba obumenyi bw'amateeka omuli obunyaguruzi. Tetwaregisterinzeeyo omusango gwonna naye olunaku olwajjo twatandise olaba amawulire agayitiŋŋana nti Katikkiro wa Buganda yabbiddwako essimu mu Masaza Cup. Twagala okakasa nti basirikale baffe okumanyuma lw'okulaba amawulire gano balowoozezza maybe kyabaddewo omukulu n'atayagala kuloopa era ne bamukubira n'akakasa nti kikolwa kino tekyamutuuseeko. So tukubiriza abantu abatambuza ebigambo bino okulekeraawo. Embeera yabadde nnungi nnyo ng'era abagenyi bonna abasobodde okujja baavuddeyo bulungi. Ekintu kino kitambudde era waliwo abamu abali mu kusunga embeera eno kyolaba babba ssente za pulezidenti olwo essimu. Kye tulowooza nti si kirungi nnyo okukuliriza bumenyi bw'amateeka kubuwa nnyo bbeetu naye era n'okukakasa nti ekikolwa kino tekyabaddewo. Ku marathon ya NSSF yasombye abantu abasukka mu 7 nga badduse mu divisions nga 4 wano naye mu divisions n'ennya zonna njagala okakasa twabaddewo accident era twabaddewo obumenyi bw'amateeka bwatuusiddwako abeetabye mu marathon eno. Sabbiiti ewedde afande yabavaayo n'ayogera ku bakamyufu bawayaringira abantu amasannyalaze n'amasannyalaze gano tuzze tugalaba nga gavaako obuzibu era incident esembyeyo gino gye twafunye ng'ennaku z'omwezi lumu yaviiriddeko okufa kw'omukyala Fatima Namuwonge nga mutuuze wa Kibezo mu Makerere Parish Kawempe. Twagala obategeeza nti tugenda noonyereza ku nsonga eno. Nabadde ayina watambula n'akwata ku lulagala n'olulagala olwo lwabadde lukoonye ku waya eya connectingibwa obubi era amasannyalaze ne gamukuba n'afiirawo. Omubiri gwe gwatwaliddwa mu ggwanika e Mulago nga tugenda kutandika kunoonyereza ani yakola connection eno mu bukyamu n'okubiriza abantu beewale okuba nti nno bakola connection zino. Obulabe bwe buba tebukutuuseeko bujja tuuka ku mwana wo oba omuntu omulala gw'obeera naye awaka. So mwewale ebikolwa bino musobole okuba nti muwangaaza obulamu. Mwebale nnyo, mwebale.
Is there a fine on Brian White in regards to that death that happened in his premises? If yes, what's the update on it?
Yeah, need to get an update. But there is a case file. What I want to confirm is that we recorded his statement. He's admitted to a hospital after he also sustained injuries, which are serious in nature, that led to the death of one person and also hospitalized him. The circumstances under which this incident happened are still under investigation. I'm yet to be briefed on how far they have gone, but I can confirm he's still hospitalized, but he's a person of interest in the investigation that we are doing. So, which means he's our one suspect, although we don't have the capabilities or capacities to detain him under the condition that he's in. So, statements, and his statement was also recorded. We found him in the hospital where he is admitted, and we recorded his statement. He sustained injuries on the leg, one of the legs. We don't know the cause of death. Of course, he says it was a fire that was caused by an explosion at home. We are yet to identify whether it was gas or there was a liquid content that triggered it all. Our investigators in the forensic department are yet to inform us on what exactly caused this.
Is it a shrine or a home?
It is a home, but I also want to confirm the speculations that in the home itself had some structures that resemble a shrine, but I'm not an expert to say they were shrines or not. They might resemble, they might be tourist attractions, who knows? Maybe that's where your visitors go first. I don't know. But I'm not an expert to say that. But all I know, it was a home. He was staying there, and the victim who died was also staying in that home. Well, I don't have the post-mortem report, but it is important for them as a family to request for the post-mortem report because it will describe very well on the injuries that were found on the victim. And in my capacity as a spokesperson, I'm not supposed to read out a post-mortem report for you. It is the family that has that capacity to read out what was written in the post-mortem report. Maybe there are experts in police who are given that mandate to read out a post-mortem report, but not me as a spokesperson. So if you want more details, maybe you can contact Dr. Byarhanga on how the body was. But what we do confirm is that there were burn marks on both the victim and the suspect. That is what we can confirm. Mu Luganda sinnafuna nze nga amyuka omwogezi wa kampala n'emiriraano alipoota ndala kuwa abanoonyereza we batuuse mu kunoonyereza kwe bali mu kukola, naye kyenkakasa nti fayiro ebadde enoonyezebwako poliisi yaffe y'e Katwe yatwaliddwa ku regioni ng'era eyo gye bali mu kuba nti no baginoonyerezaako. Tetunnafuna kyakwongerako kyonna kuwa we batuuse mu kunoonyereza, naye kyenjagala okukakasa nti omuntu omu yafiira mu muliro guno, mukyala, ate n'agambibwa okuba nti gwe yali bali babeera wamu, ate nga mu musango gwe tunoonyerezaako person of interest oba muntu gwe twagala atuyambeko mu kunoonyereza ate nga kikola kye kimate ye suspect naye yafuna ebisago eby'amaanyi era essaawa zino ali mu ddwaliro afuna bujjanjabi. Tetunnakakasa kye kyaviirako bantu bano okufuna bisago ebyaviirako omuntu omu okuba nti afa, omulala n'atwalibwa mu ddwaliro, naye ekyo bwe kinaaba kikakasiddwa abanoonyereza ne batuwa alipoota eyo tujja vaayo era tubategeeze. Naye nga twasobola okugenda awakaawe we yali abeera ne tusobola okukola statement ku abo bonna ababadde babeerawo, naye twafuna statement ye. So kunoonyereza kukyagenda mu maaso, tetwagala kubuukira bigambo nti oba kino kyatuukawo oba kino kyatuukawo. Katulinde sayansi atubuulire ki kyennyini ekyatuukawo okusinziira ku bye baasanga ku mubiri gw'omugenzi n'oyo eyafuna ekisago, era tujja kukomawo era tubabuulire. Naye nga statement ye yafunibwa, tetulina capacity emusigaza nga suspect kuba ye yaliwo n'omuntu eyafa, era kyenkana obeera suspect kuba alina ebisago by'amaanyi. Ffe nga poliisi tetulina capacity emusigaza mu buddukulu waffe, so kaafune obujjanjabi. Bw'anaamala obufuna fayiro tujja gitwala eri ow'omuwabi wa gavumenti atuwabule ki kye tuzzaako. Naye essaawa zino tetwagala kubukagana na bigambo nti oba kino oba kiri ng'ebitambula mu social media. Twagala kusinziira ku bujulizi obw'enkomeredde okumanya ki ekyatuukawo. Tetumanyi, ffe tetuli ba expert kumanya nti oba lino ssabo oba nedda. Naye kituufu waliwo awantu woyinza okulowooza nti basabirawo oba bakolerawo ekintu ekirala. Ffe tetuli bakugu nnyo okumanya biki biyinza kukolebwawo, naye nga mwalimu kye twandiyise ennyumba eziriko essubi. So siyinza vaayo kugamba nti masabo oba nedda seebe. Ebyo si byaffe nga poliisi okukakasa, okuggyako ye nga ye bw'atubuulira ekigendererwa naye kitaali interest yaffe. Interest yaffe yali awaali enjega eno, ennyumba eyalimu enjega eyo oba akasenga kaalimu enjega eno, n'okumanya ki ekyabatuukako bombi n'okuviirako omuntu ono okufa.